Namaskar, this is Udai. Welcome back to UDS Quickest Movie Reviews. As always, we are ready with some wonderful short films that we are going to review in our show. So, before that, I want you to hit the subscribe and bell icon so that you can get all updates on time. Let's start the show. So the first movie that we are going to review today in quick movie category is Ammotchindii. Ammotchindii is a Telugu quick movie that is hosted on Mimi Krishna YouTube channel. Frankly, the movie is too unsatisfying. I'm very sure that makers had a very genuine thought in their mind, but unfortunately, due to some reasons, I don't see they could pull that genuinity in making of the film. To start with, the film starts with the son who is doing a Pinda Pradhanam, Indian ritual that we do when our elders or parents pass away. As he does this, he recalls about his mother. And the film was supposed to end with an emotional recall of this person with his mother. Unfortunately, it didn't. The very basic understanding while I was watching this movie is they either were not prepared, or the screenplay what they have prepared, they could not encapsulate it into visual. Even when they got these visuals, they were not sure how to cut that, and even when they cut that, that was not actually going with the emotions. So as I was telling, they either did not shoot the content they wanted, or the content they shot were not properly imposed into the film. Why am I saying this? See, there is no doubt that these people were very conscious about building this emotional drama. But unfortunately, your audience doesn't know your script. So when you insert something in between with no backstory, an audience will never understand what exactly that visual or set of intercuts you are giving actually matters. So you should have at least narrated the story in a voiceover, saying that when he is putting this pinda and he suddenly recalls his mother and calling him, or for instance, he is holding the plate where he is climbing up staircase and he recalls that he is walking with some toys and baggage and stuff in the past. I don't understand the relativity between this scene and that scene, and that is how confused I was while I was watching this movie. The major asset that could have saved this film is sound or voice. A voiceover could have helped this movie. I mean, imagine if the son is just giving a voiceover and the things are happening visually, could have saved this film. Unfortunately, the biggest drawback of the film is sound itself. There was no sync. There was absolutely no coordination of actor with the scene. There was no proper BGM given to this. The BGM was very high. Sometimes I couldn't understand the dialogues just because of the music. Coming to the visual part. See, this was taken on a mobile phone. I'm sure you had your reasons for that. But when you are doing a film with mobile phone, the biggest asset you have got is compatibility of the phone, of the camera. So you could have tried n number of angles, n number of shots. You could have repeatedly seen what is going on. In fact, when you do it with a mobile camera, you have an instant result there. So any mistake you did could have immediately corrected as soon as you see a preview. And I see, even with this particular technique what you have used. You have used n number of repeated shots which were not necessary. And I could see that actor was completely disconnected with the film. He was listening to some prompt which was going on. And coming to editing part, they have used a mobile app called KeenMaster. KeenMaster, after watching this film, I had to do my research on that. So when I opened it, has some beautiful transitions. It is very good with the cuts and stuff. You can actually pinpoint the cut. But I didn't understand, while you are using such editing software which is available on your phone, why are you using the repeated shots that you are taken in a mobile? Which again, we cannot blame the software. Cuts were improper. There were some unwanted transitions which I didn't understand. A lot of intercuts which made no sense, which could have been avoided. And except for the last line, I see there is no emotional relativity to the film. The hard work you have put in, I think you can make much better movies than this. So with that, we rate Ammotchindii a 1.5 star in our UD Quickest Movie Reviews. So the next quick movie that we are going to review in our show is An eMALE. An eMALE is a quick movie hosted on VR Visuals, a YouTube channel. An eMALE is basically a social message and a real-time scenario of a person who wants leave to attend his sister's marriage. And our story starts with this young man who is an IT employee working from home, is trying to write an email to his boss, and before he could send that, he is getting interrupted in every single way possible. That might be a mail from his boss saying to finish the work, or the household things he wants to do, like washing or cooking, or all these things. And finally, when he is about to send this mail, there's something that happens that will change the complete course of this application. Now, what is that situation? What is the social message that this film is carrying? Is the end of the film. The whole subject was well handled. Coming to the camera, I really love that time-lapse shot they have composed. However, I can say that it could be much smoother than that. I think you should work on that. The close-ups were well taken. The suggestion shots were really good. Editing was decent. The color tones they used are very good. I really appreciate his thought and the efforts he has put to get this film alive. With that, wishing him all the best and appreciating all his efforts, we in UD's Quickest Movie Reviews rate a 3-star in our show. The next movie that we are going to review is Black Balloon. Black Balloon is a Malayalam social awareness short film that is hosted on DreamTrio YouTube channel. Black Balloon, as I say, is a great example that we can give to a format of script writing that is called chaos theory writing. Chaos theory writing style, if you want me to give an example, the very few movies that come into my mind are The Final Destination, The Butterfly Effect. And when we talk about Indian cinema, the very first movie that hits my mind is Kamal Hassan's Dasavataram and director Krish's Vedam. If you see, all these movies have one common thing, that the whole story can be divided into 2-3 parts. And finally, there is one string that is stitching the whole complete movie. So, in the same format, Black Balloon is also a combination or a collage of 3 different stories. The beginning of the film starts from this young girl who is getting ready to go to school. Parallelly, there is this young budding actor who wants to go to a film audition, and he is requesting his friend to lend him some money. And the third story is about this mother and a kid who has a very small shop in the beach, a soda shop maybe, and they are walking towards their shop. So these 3 different stories build in such a way that you can see few similarities. For instance, the girl at school is performing so well. She is answering every single question that is asked by her teacher. And here in the audition, the boy is performing so well that he is offered a character in the movie. And in the third story, the boy is looking at a balloon seller, a gas balloon seller basically, and is wishing to buy one of the balloons. And therefore, he comes to mother and he requests her to buy him a balloon. On the other hand, at the school, there is this small drama or skit where the heroine or the lead character, a female lead of the skit, is not going to make it. So, they want an alternative to be selected from the students. And when asked, our school little girl will stand up and say, I want to be a part of this. Along with the school girl, there are other 2 girls who stand up and say, we are also ready to take part in this. The teacher gives a glance and sees that these 2 girls who stood up are much fairer than this other girl. Therefore, the teacher asks our schoolgirl to sit back and let these fair girls go and take part in the selection process. Something similar happens with this actor also. As the director is about to explain him the scene, one of these persons walks in with much fair guy and asks the director to give him a chance. And I'm sure you know what would have happened there. Now, how are these 2 stories connected to the third story? The third story, the little guy behaves so well that his mother gives him money to buy a balloon. And he runs towards this balloon seller. As balloon seller has only 2 balloons. One is a colored one is a black one. Boy is eager to buy a colored one. Unfortunately, just before he reaches, the balloon seller sells this colored balloon to someone else. Now, I don't want to give away the spoiler. I want you guys to watch this climax. That how are these 2 depressed souls, in fact 3 depressed souls, get back their courage or the hope, and how is this entire story going to teach us something that we are too used to? Now that I really don't want to disclose. Mind you, this is a very, very heart-touching, pleasant experience that I don't want you guys to miss at all. Frankly, Black Balloon is one of the best short films I have seen so far. Coming to the technical part, story is done by Mr. George, script and dialogues are by Mr. Prasanth, director and cinematography are handled by Mr. Cyril. And all of them, I'm sure all of them, including the actors, have given their 100% to this movie. I think there are very rare cases where every single department put their soul into the movie and they trust on the concept. and I'm sure Black Balloon is one of them. And with all that, I can say Black Balloon is one of the best outputs I have seen so far. And we at UD's Quickest Movie Reviews are rating Black Balloon a 4.5 star in our show. So the next movie that we are going to review in our UD's Quickest Movie Reviews is AVARN. AVARN is a Hindi thriller short film that is hosted on KVF, Kolaria's Viral Factory Producer, a YouTube channel. The short film is basically about this color-blinded young person who is watching his favorite show on television, eating his pasta at his home, and is disturbed by a door knock. When the fellow goes and opens the door, he sees this stranger standing, who claims he is a policeman, and he rudely enters into the room even when AVARN is trying to stop him. As he walks in, he says that he wants to question him about a missing case. Later, AVARN understands that the policeman who enters into his house, who is interrogating him, is brother of one of his colleagues and a personal friend who he has met a few days ago and partied with him. And since then, he is missing. Now, furious brother and policeman is seriously manhandling AVARN. Now, the question is, does AVARN know where his friend is? If he knows, where is he? Now, the question is, does AVARN really know where is his friend? Number 2, if he doesn't know, how is he going to get out of this situation from this furious policeman? Number 3, where is his friend? Number 4, how will this entire story end up? Coming to the technical part, written, directed and edited by Mr. Rakesh Kolaria, AVARN is no doubt a very powerful storyline. However, the slow narration of the film and the very dark intense red are going to make your eyes tired by the end of the film. Cinematography was done by Mr. Kapil Kolaria. He did a fab job. His angles were good, the way his camera motion was good, the way they have handled the camera was good, though they was a bit shaky, but then I think it really enhanced the feel of the film. However, I must say that in attempt to make it more intense and very dramatic, they forgot the basic rule 180 degree, resulting in which the editing was affected. Because every single time they changed the angle or the scene, it was horribly jerking to the eye. As I always say, keep that in mind that before breaking a rule, you know how to compel it. Music was done by Mr. Shiva Krishna, which is really good, and it really enhanced that tremendous intensity of the film to the next level. If you are a fan of short thriller movies, I'm sure this film is going to make it into your list. And with that, we rate AVARN a 3 star in our show. The next movie that we are going to review in our show is Divider. Divider is a Malayalam short film that is hosted on Davida Entertainment's a YouTube channel. Divider basically is a cute family subject that is dealing with different situations revolving around this young Muslim boy who is studying in a Hindu school. The story is about this young little boy who has just undergone a traditional procedure called Sunnat, and he is recovering from that. Now he is all ready to go to the school, and there is this Muslim leader or maybe a teacher called Ustad who comes to visit him. As he is talking to the boy's father, he understands that this little boy is going to school, which is a Hindu school. This upsets Ustad a lot, because according to Ustad, mingling with this kafir will lower the standard of this little boy. But on the other hand, father of this boy says that he do not believe in that, and according to the father, the school is very nearby and it gives a very good results in education, and that is what he is concerned about. On the other side, the little boy goes to school picking up his brother's mobile phone, and children all around him too eager to take that phone into their hands. All this attention, the little boy doesn't want to give the phone to his friend, and this makes his friend a little bit angry, and he starts teasing this boy in the name of Sunnat. So all the boys start teasing this little fellow, calling him names, and this is frustrating for him. He is so disturbed that he won't even go to use the toilet in the school, resulting him to run back to use the toilet. Ustad constantly is talking to boy's father, showing him different kinds of examples that his son is getting affected. On the other side, when boy tries to talk to his brother is upset about the phone that he took to school. Boy at a point of time is too frustrated, a lot of anger is building in him, and constantly Ustad is forcing this father to take this boy to a different school. Now how will all this mess settle is the end of the story. It is beautiful, it is so pleasant. I think most of us need that lesson from the film. Story, screenplay, dialogues and direction done by Mr. Anand Radhakrishnan. No doubt that divider is one of the best concepts that I have seen on the religious issue. However, at the beginning I thought the film was a bit too long, but then once you get connected to the film, you really don't feel it is so long. It is so pleasant and you won't notice the time. Director of photography Mr. Jayhari, yes, has given some wonderful rich visuals. The camera movement was very smooth. It really enhanced the movie to go to the next level. The real magic happened in editing. I must say the absolute magic of this film is about editing. Editor Mr. Ramu R did a great job. There was absolutely no unwanted cuts, there were no unwanted effects used, and the picture looked so smooth and clear. And enhancing this to the next level, the DI done by Mr. Ajay has really given the most pleasant color tones possible for the movie. And trust me, when you see this movie, you will end up loving this movie. At the end of the day, Divider is a classic, wonderful and pleasantly presented short film, and we at UD's Quickest Movie Reviews rate Divider a 4-star in our show. So the next movie that we are going to review in UD's Quickest Movie Reviews is Low Voltage. Low Voltage is an Indo-foreign psychological thriller short film that is hosted on SEA Studios. Low Voltage is one of those rarest screenplays that we get to see from a very few filmmakers. The story is about this 3 very close friends who decides to meet and have a party. And on the other side, it is shown that there is this mugging problem getting higher every day in the city. Those who don't know what mugging is a street robbery where the small time goons, they just randomly pick on people, take their money, possibly hurt them and just run away. They are most common in US or any such cities. Basically not in India, outside India it is the most burning problem, you may say. After the party, where these three guys, that is one female and two male, are walking towards their home and suddenly gets attacked by this drunken fellow. And they land in a situation where the girl is at the tip of a broken bottle and the guy is drunk. So they try all sorts of activities to save this girl. They give up their money, they start requesting, and at a point of time during the rescue, accidentally the girl gets killed. And one of the guy, who is our protagonist, is deeply depressed because in the heat of the situation, the other guy blames him for whatever the activity happened there. And this depression is eating him from inside. Now he's trying to be lonely, he's trying to recall a lot of things like possible times where he could have saved people, but he chose to keep quiet, or maybe he chose to think that it is not his job to save these guys. All these things are going in his head. Now our story is deeply built on this very particular point. What will he do? And when he reacts, what will happen? Will this friend ever understand our protagonist? Will they come back together? Is one part of whatever the normal script is all about. And when you get all the answers, the story takes a U-turn. Remember, I always say I really love these loopers. I cannot say this movie is a loop because it doesn't happen again and again, but I can say it do have that essence of loop. How is a spoiler, I don't want to give it up, but I'm sure when you watch this movie and when you see how it is going to end, maybe at first the ending would be a shock, but try to watch it twice. You will get to see a different story, a different approach to the story. So it is the intelligence of the director and cleverly edited script that we are seeing in Low Voltage. Coming to the technical part, written, edited and directed by Mr. Ajay Suresh, Low Voltage is really a very twisted script. As I told, to review the film, I had to see this film at least twice to understand the exact format what the director intended to tell you. The director cleverly has implanted a lot of hints while watching the movie. Now when you see it for the first time, you may not, or you choose to ignore the hints. But when you see it the second time, you will understand all the hints which he is pointing towards his intention. So I must say this movie was quite interesting to watch and to review. Though I do have few suggestions, actors could have been better. See, there are points where your intensity will define the scene, and I see they were constantly concentrating on the next lines that they have to tell, which can be easily noticed. This is camera and it spares no one. So while acting, I think they should have taken a bit more care. And coming to editing, they were very good. Absolute mind-blowing colors implanted in the movie. In a movie like this, it is very important that editing must be optimum. And that's what they did. And I think DOP Mr. Ajit Kumar and Hari Nair did a fantastic job. Really loved those camera movements, the angles they chose. It was all because of this camera and the camera work. I was literally glued to this film. I didn't want to miss even a single frame of the film because it was so rich. Another thing that really made this film so unique is DI. Low Voltage is a very rich looking short film that has wonderful screenplay, that has wonderful visual effects, that has wonderful editing, unbelievable camera work, but then it was downside on the act. A little bit slow narration, which you must take care because it may disconnect a common audience. And to end with, this is a well-made movie. The efforts you put into this movie are clearly visible. And with that, we rate Low Voltage a 3.5 star in our show. The next movie that we are going to review is Deep. Deep is a Zambian film hosted on Mark OZTP YouTube channel. The film basically is a suspense thriller. The movie starts with this young man hanging upside down, trying to recall one of the particular situations of his life. When his recall starts, we see that there's two people, one himself and one his best friend, who are at their house chilling. And suddenly, hero's girlfriend enters into the room. Looking at these two, friend choose to give them some privacy and walk out. So he makes some reason and he walks out. When hero wants to kiss this girl, the girl says that he smells and he should take a bath. When he goes in, after a minute he comes out, he sees this girl dead, and finally he ends up in a jail. Directed by Mr. Samuels, Deep is really a very interesting subject. In order to make this visually very interesting, director forgot some basic questions that had to be answered by the end of the film. Like, what happens to the hero? On what base is he arrested? If the girl was dead, exactly what they shown in the movie, she would be choked to death. I'm sure the killer has left his fingerprints on the body. Why were police not taking care of that? Number 4. When someone comes to choke you, you either run away, even if you know them, you won't stay there looking at him to invite, kill you. You try to escape, you try struggle, if not anything, at least you try to scream. None of these were shown, at least when you visually represented that, it was not. So there are a lot of other questions which we had in mind that I could not find any answer to. Now, coming to the technical part, editing was okay. I mean, it could be much crispy. The camera work was too shaky, and I see the color tones were okay, not bad. Coming to sound, Mr. Steven has totally misfired sound for this movie. I mean, the most of the times I could not make out what the character is speaking out because of the loud BGM, and it is enforced in such a way that you have to ignore the facts of the film. It doesn't work out that way. So in order to enhance the feel, sound really disturbed a common audience to get connected with your film. At the end of the day, I appreciate the whole team's effort. They have put some good effort in making Deep, but unfortunately it misfired. I hope you come up with much better projects. I'm sure you're going to make some very good movies, and with all that, we at UD's Quickest Movie Reviews rate Deep a 2-star in our show. The next movie that we are going to review is a Nigerian film called My Valley. My Valley, a Nigerian short film, is hosted on AB Omiki YouTube channel. The film basically is a voiceover montage of woman and her life with her loved ones. The film basically starts with this cute couple entering into a new relationship. The boy proposes girl with the ring, and girl is all excited, happy about her life. She goes to her friends. She shows her ring. Both the friends are very happy. One of the friend is sad. I say she is jealous of this girl's happiness. Further, it moves on that the girl moves with this guy. They're very happy, and slowly this happiness starts vanishing. This couple will also start seeing the bad phase of this relationship. The guy is constantly abusing this woman. He even starts manhandling her. At a point of time, she chooses not to go out of this relationship. She tries to save this relationship wearing the mask of happiness. One day breaks out, runs to her friend for help, and her friend consoles her. On the other side, the man falls in love with another girl and he is romancing her. It so happened that the girl who was jealous is now in relationship with this guy. And the other common friend, she looks at this girl and she warns this girl about the man, and she tries to explain her the situation of their friend, that is heroine. But as she is madly in love with this guy, she chooses to ignore it. Now the end of the film is, what will happen when the heroine comes to know about this? Where will this jealous girl end up? And what will happen to that man? Is a beautiful end given to this film. Written and directed by A.V. Omiki, My Valley is a really clean, emotional, heart-touching subject. A.B. made sure to tell her point very clearly. And what really attracted me towards this film is the way she chose to narrate her story. The makers chose this poetic voiceover and clear visuals to narrate the story. I really appreciate that. DOP Mike did a wonderful job in giving some really very clean visuals that justify the voiceover. As I told, the subject is completely based on visuals, and I'm sure if it was not Mike, these visuals wouldn't be the same what we saw. I'm so surprised to see that there was no credit given to editor. In fact, the biggest asset of this film is editing. Without editing, I don't think this movie would be this interesting. And after all this, I think this is a very good attempt, and we appreciate the whole team for attempting something like this. And at UD's Quickest Movie Reviews, we rate My Valley a 3-star in our show. And that brings us to the last short film that we are going to review in our show. That is eMALE. Endrendrum Manathil Irupai. Endrendrum Manathil Irupai. The title says that it is a short suspense thriller love drama. But after seeing the film, I can say it is a typical hilarious comedy film. The story though starts very seriously with this young guy disappointed with his life and pissed off with his wife. He is desperately waiting for a money order that he has to get. In a series of unfortunate events, the money order lands up into the hands of a Muslim guy who is staying in the house where this hero used to stay before. In an accidental format, the money is spent when the hero calls up this courier guys. Courier guys say that the money is delivered to the address given. So hero goes to find out who this guy is. And on the other hand, even the Muslim guy finds out where this guy stay and he comes to hand over the money. And in a series of events, the Muslim guy understands that wife of the guy who had to receive money order is his old school friend. So they spend some time together trying to recall, and this Muslim guy gets a call where he has some work and he walks out, and this is been noticed by the husband. Husband, who is already frustrated with his wife and has a huge doubt on his wife, walks into house, and when wife tries to tell him that he has got the money back and the guy who got that is her friend, he starts fighting with her. He claims that the fellow who went away is her ex-boyfriend and she has a relationship between, and this makes the wife go mad. She starts fighting and this fighting leads to a breakup. She walks away from home. On the other side, this Muslim guy accidentally saves a Don, and Don is so impressed by this guy, he takes him to his place. And this Don is connected to this hero, as the Don has lent him some money to buy a bike. Now it is time he has to pay the EMI and he has not paid. So Don orders his goons to go get the bike, and as told, the goons take the bike and they come back. And here the Don offers him to wish something as he has saved his life. The Muslim guy then receives a call. When he lifts the call, he understands that this girl has fought with her husband and has come out and she is waiting at his home. In order to run home, the Muslim guy asks Don to give him the key of that bike, and Don presents him the bike, and he eagerly runs back to his home. And back at Hero's house, Hero finds out this envelope filled with money and understands that he has misunderstood the heroine or the wife. So he thinks that he will go back to this Don, pay some money, that is EMI, and he will get the bike. He will then go search for his wife. So in order to do that, when he comes to this Don, he understands that his bike is not there. Now all this confusion is cleared at the end of the story. In a magical way, every single person in the story is linked to each other, and they discover their old relationships with each other. Sounds so complicated, but this is very funny and it is very tough to handle subjects like this. Director, editor, music done by Mr. Chennakesava MC. EMI is a wonderful masala script. Really loved every single bit of the film. It was filled with hilarious elements. Though it has a little bit of lag here and there, but out and out it was very nice comedy. Cinematography done by Mr. Prajwal and Chennakesava has given a wonderful night shots. They're really good. And I really appreciate the brilliant shot where they have used this bike or moped's light to frame this guy's feelings in a night, and the background street lights they have used, the way they have used these things were brilliant. But they could not do the same magic during the day, which was a bit disappointing. But at the end, this is a very good entertainer. One will really enjoy watching it, and one will definitely get connected to this film. and we at UD Quickest Movie Reviews rate EMI a 3.5 star in iTunes. So guys, I hope you enjoyed our show. We are really thankful for all the response you are giving us, all the support you have given us. But there are few things we wanted to request you guys. Number one, please do not send us your trailers. We do not review trailers. Number two, if you want your film to be reviewed, please make sure you are sending only the link of the film. Number three, not necessarily we need a poster. If you have a poster, it's really good. You can send us. And number four, we want you to give us some time to review your film. It's not like today you're going to send and the next week your movie is going to be reviewed. It takes at least 2 to 3 weeks for us to watch, write a review, and shoot it, edit it, and then telecast it. So hope you understand the process that is there, and you can see that we literally watch every single frame of your film. So it takes a lot of time. Please be patient. At least give us 2 weeks to broadcast your film. And once your film is reviewed, we definitely send you a link. So with that, we come to the end of the show, and before I end the show, let us not forget to thank Mr. Venkatesh, who is our special reviewer of the day. Do like, subscribe, share and support us. Do write suggestions in the comment box. Every comment from you is a boost for us. With that note, let us end the show. This is me, Udai, signing off. Namaste.